Today is Tuesday, August 13th, 2019, and you're listening to a bonus episode of the One Episode Rule. Can you guys introduce yourselves?
I'm Blackle, and I want to recite a poem that I made the other day.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Okay, here we go. Roses are red, roses are blue, sugar is roses, and I'm eating a shoe.
Okay.
I'm so pleased. I knew that Emma was going to snap.
The shithouse poet strikes again.
I guess I'm Joey. I mean, I'm not.
You sure?
I guess.
You guess?
I am Joey.
I suppose.
Listen, I'm tired. If it rains much more, I'm gonna be washed away, and that's pretty much it.
Hi, I'm Emma, and this energy that we're bringing to the bonus episode is really shocking. It kind of feels like we have all individually been in just like beat up lemon cars, and we are all driving desperately through the Arizona desert, and we just all of our cars stall at the same place, and we just all get out and just stumble into this derelict gas station, and we're like, okay, let's do the podcast.
Just trying to figure out what we're fucking going to do.
Trapped in a fucking Hotel California? What?
Yeah. So if someone's listening to this, they're going to be like, what the fuck is a bonus episode?
You can podcast anytime you like, but you can never leave.
Oh my lord.
That's what the Eagles guy sounds like.
That's a very unique take on the Eagles.
That's like exactly what he sounds like, right?
It was pretty good. I'll support you.
Okay. Sorry. Here's my very accurate Eagles guy impression.
Oh my god.
You can check out anytime
Oh.
you like.
That's just...
You can never leave.
Jesus Christ.
Well,
that's actually my very good Billy Corgan, and it made me sweat.
Smashing Pumpkins. That's
our audience no longer has
Sweaty Corgan.
There is no audience.
There is no audience?
There is no audience. I have smashed them like so many pumpkins.
We scream.
Hey,
there's no audience. We scream into the void.
Does anyone want to mention what we're actually doing this time?
May I?
Different.
Okay, a bonus episode is when, because we want to make our episodes more live, we're going to try to post them the week that we record them. However, if we forget or something bad happens or we're not able to record, we're going to create a backlog of bonus episodes of just weird, non-conformant episodes of the podcast for your enjoyment.
You're putting a lot of pressure on me as a host to do that. I was perfectly happy just putting regular ass episodes in the magazine for whenever we needed them.
Yeah, but the problem is that
they're gonna be fucking clown
if we make a meme joke, it's gonna get irrelevant in the time between us posting the podcast and
listen.
Blackle, last time you picked, we watched fucking Gunbuster.
Granted, I'm not the one who's pushing for this.
I'm not the one who's so far away.
I think I'm the one who dated our episode last time, so I'm taking that blame upon myself.
Let's be fair. You just said the word hog.
No, I did reference the exact hog meme.
Did you directly say? Well,
I directly said 30 to 50
okay.
hogs. So, and now I'm dating this episode. Fuck.
Now we're doing it again.
Well, we did say what date it was at the start of this episode.
That's true.
So
we specifically dated it.
I have provided the day and the hour so that future historians can look for context.
Yeah,
they will say, here, this is where the explosion began.
This is where it went wrong.
Yeah.
This was shortly before all of the hosts of the podcast individually booked tickets to fly to each other's houses and strangle each other to death.
Hey, does anyone want to mention how long we talked about the bonus episode before
it took
we
us
decided?
30 Christian minutes just to decide.
It's been 80 years. What's that lady from Titanic? She's just like, it's been
86 years, I
we
think. Is
we
that it?
can't decide what to do for this episode.
No,
At
we
all.
decided.
We decided
I
it was-
still don't know what we're doing.
We're still probably going to do Ava because we haven't done an Ava episode except for all the Ava episodes we did.
Every episode is an Ava episode, but this is specifically.
But
an
this one
Ava
is
episode.
the.
Yes.
Do you guys mind if I say
episode-
the options that we have before
Oh
us?
my god.
I
The
think
podcast.
no.
No,
I think
we gotta
it's a
save some
secret.
of those bad boys.
Okay.
I think
But I
it's
mean,
a-
like, people
I
will be
think it's a
excited.
little-
Because
Well,
they'll be like, maybe this is the bonus episode where they watch blank.
Maybe this is
Well-
the bonus episode where Magpie kills all the rest of them.
this is the bonus episode where we finish recording and then we say, "Hey guys, I've been thinking about it, and maybe this podcast isn't working out."
Be like, listen, I'm going to move soon to pursue other opportunities.
Oh, Lord.
Submitting my resignation. Hey, by the way, it's the first time the whole OG gang has been together in a while. So that's
Yeah, that's true.
fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it
Welcome
is.
back to the first episode. We
Welcome
are
back
the one
to
episode
hell.
rulers.
Yeah. We're the
All right.
chores.
Oh my god, that's what we should call our fans. We should call them rulers.
Oh, yeah. The one
Oh,
episode
that's
rulers.
cute.
I don't-
Yeah.
I
The
don't
one
know
episode
about that.
rulers with their toes.
Hey, rulers.
I don't know about
Cool.
that. That just makes me feel like I'm going to have to take them down a couple of notches later.
Well, you will, and that's why it's an effective name, I think.
Oh
It's
my
because
God.
eventually we must crush everyone who listens to us.
I mean,
It took us so long to decide what we were gonna do. And we missed some good content.
We did.
Was there-
an entire speech.
There was a speech. There was some heated
I
argument.
lost my temper a little bit.
I found a picture of Will Riker from TNG doing Tai Chi
Oh yeah.
on the Enterprise.
I see
and
it.
It's really weird.
He looks like he's at like a fucking like suburban dojo for like karate.
He looks
He
like
looks
he's
like my dad's underwear.
he looks like he's about he looks like he's about to drink a bunch of lime Kool-Aid and die.
Oh my lord! Oh my lord! That's a cut.
Oofa doofa.
Wow.
Too soon? It's
I
been like
think-
30 years.
Has it been? It's probably been 50 at this point.
But oh boy.
So yeah, we still haven't explained what we're gonna do. We're doing Ava, but like specifically, okay, so here's the deal. I had not ever seen any Ava, so I finally watched about 5 episodes.
Yeah.
So we said, hey, we should just talk about Ava. And then Emma was like, oh, we should like at least watch the first episode as a refresher. And then some of us were like, oh, we remember we've always been recently enough. And
Now let's not say some of us. Let's say every single person but Emma said, no, I don't want to watch the first
This is-
episode again.
This is getting weirdly confrontational.
I think that it was already confrontational.
It's already lightly confrontational.
Yeah.
I'm not actually upset.
It's the powerful energy of like not. This is the same deal where like when you like are having a party and like everyone's like, hey, so we were thinking about getting dinner, all of us, and everyone's like,
oh,
I want
yeah.
pizza, I want chicken, I want fucking pasta,
Yeah.
I want
I want
pierogies, and it's like,
Chinese food.
what the fuck?
Yeah.
And then it's like, how about we all just agree to have pizza? And then someone's like, well, I had pizza yesterday,
And
and
then no. And then everyone is like very like they've got it in their brain like this is what's got to happen, right? So then like
yes,
it becomes a longer discussion, but it's fine.
it goes
It's
nowhere.
fine.
It goes,
Hey, listen.
yeah,
We all love each other here on the 1 episode rule.
yeah.
And
I don't
it's
know, this
fine.
can only go-
Degrees.
This is going to only go on so long as my hand is still raising and not quite in line with somebody's neck.
right before you squeeze the weeb juice.
Oh, that's how they make it.
Do that
Oh
old,
my god.
do that old Brock Sampson special, pull the handle, pull the handle, push the button. But
God.
So, do we want to do this thing?
Now, Dean, what I want you to do is I want you to take his head in your hands and put your left hand on the back of his head and your right hand on his chin, and then pull very sharply to the left. And that'll make him more knocked out? Yeah, that'll make him more knocked out.
So here, let me try to summarize what the fuck we're doing. We're all going to watch the first episode of NGE, despite the fact that 3/4 of us have already seen the first episode.
You don't have to.
Very
I just
recently.
want
All of
to.
us have seen.
We
Oh my
have to
God.
watch it if
Well,
we're gonna make notes, because we have to be good little students of the
See, that's
craft.
the thing, is the notes. That's why I want to watch
That's
it again.
okay. That's a good argument.
We
All
have
right.
to be
We're still
good little students.
We are
still
still
deciding.
figuring out what we're doing for the episode in the episode.
All right,
That's,
all right.
It's good content, though. Okay.
Enough.
Magpie's
Everybody
going
sit
pro
down.
mode.
Okay, I'm sitting.
All right.
I'm
We're going to go away,
I stood
and
up.
some of us are going to watch something. And I promise that you viewers, at one point, there will be a bonus episode where we watch the Venture Brothers. Good. I'll see
Hell
y'all
yes.
later. All right, we're back. They watched the first episode of Neon Genesis Evangelion, and I watched Star Trek: The Next Generation Season 4, Episode 14, Clues.
Oh,
So-
interesting.
that?
I would personally like to predicate my experience of Evangelion with I watched it. I watched the whole series, I think maybe a month ago, and then today, just now, I watched the first episode, but in German, because ich kann ein bisschen Deutsch verstehen, aber nicht genug.
Okay.
Ooh, that was a fun one for our German speakers.
Yeah.
Probably
You
exist.
know, for that
If you-
huge German audience we play to.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I said
We love
even though
you.
I hate every person who speaks and understands German. Just kidding.
Damn.
Wow.
Damn.
I don't have a lot to say about what I watched, other than it was one of the good stupid episodes. It's the one where Picard is playing playing fucking Philip Marlowe detective shit on the holodeck, and then Guinan comes in and she's just like, Jean-Luc, this is stupid. It's just like, we're having fun though, right? Also, yes, Riker does Tai Chi at the beginning of that episode, but it does zoom out, and Worf is also in the same class, and that's fucked up.
Oh my god. Incredible.
Is Worf the one that has like the forehead
He's the
ridges?
Klingon.
Worf,
Okay.
Worf is Michael Dorn. He is the Black Klingon, yes.
I see.
Mm-hmm.
I understand.
Yes.
Anyway,
Yeah.
So-
how did everybody like Evangelion?
Yeah,
The first
I will
episode.
say, I watched this about how many days ago did we watch Magpie?
It was like 2 or 3 days
2
ago.
or
We
3
watched
days ago.
all the way up to episode 5 with
Up through episode 5 with our perfect
to the
beautiful
introduction of the
waifu.
best girl.
Mm-hmm. So I did watch it again, even though I said I wasn't going to, just because I wanted to be the good little student and take some notes and, yada yada.
I only took 3 notes. I'm a bad little student.
So how about you, Emma? When's the last time you watched again?
That is a very good question, and I don't really remember, but probably like a month ago.
Hmm.
Because
Right.
it was
So
kinda
it's-
like before my new apartment.
Okay.
Right.
So it was the same amount of time that it took for me.
Probably, yeah.
Okay. I was just trying to invoke that beautiful speech you gave us offline
I
about
don't. I
your
really
perfect
don't
anime
think-
knowledge.
There was something that was in me that is
You
not
can't-
in me anymore.
Look,
I
you
really,
can't force it. It's gotta be
You can't force
natural.
yeah.
Okay.
I can't really.
Emma was
I-
struck by her inability to channel Laplace's demon.
It was amazing.
Perfect causal knowledge of the universe.
It was incredible. I loved it.
Well, I'm sorry, the audience missed it. But I'm glad to know that I'm well reviewed among my friends.
It entertained
Yes.
us.
Good. I'm glad. All that I want to do is make you all smile.
Aw.
So,
All I want to do is make that paper.
well,
All that Magpie wants to do is squeeze the weep juice out of all of us.
Exactly.
Mhm.
What's that
Oh
smell?
my
Loads of money. Probably.
probably. God.
Oh man, we're digging deep for the references.
We're digging
A lot of
pretty
fucking
deep
Harry
here.
Enfield references on my
Well,
anime
Harry Enfield
podcast.
reference on
Gee
our
whiz.
anime podcast about. Have we talked about Neon Genesis Evangelion at all?
Not
That's
really.
hilarious because that's normally all we talk about on this show.
Yeah.
Our one.
Evangelion.
Yeah,
Maybe
gotta
what we
do
could do
Jack
this
Lion.
episode. I've got a good idea. Is what we could do instead of talking about the episode yet is we can all talk about our experiences, what brought us to Eva in the first place, our watching experiences in the past, and that sort of thing.
That's the
Our
gag, right?
childhoods.
We spend every other episode talking entirely about Ava, and then the one Ava episode we can't talk about Ava.
You know, ironically, I do have a valid point of conversation to bring up that doesn't involve Ava, but does involve people in this room. And it
Please
is-
do.
And it is, Joey, your kaiji thing has gone too far.
What?
You are,
It's hilarious.
you have taken it too far.
So
Kaiji reads Warrior Cats.
Wait, Joey, did you make that picture?
Yes, I 100%
Holy fuck,
made that.
Joey! Oh my god! Oh, that has to be part of the liner notes for this episode. Is
Oh.
that picture that Joey made of Kaiji reading Warrior Cats?
It's really good. I do have to. I guess I'm gonna have to put it in the liner notes. I'm
Oh
gonna have
my
to find
lord!
Can
somewhere
we
to
just,
host
like-
the fucking image so I can put it in the liner notes.
What
Can we
if we
tweet it
just
out of
tweet it?
context?
I was just about to say tweet it out of context. Oh,
That's-
Joey.
Yes.
We truly think
Our
alike.
hearts beat as one.
Oh my
Um,
lord! You're in sync.
So the last time that I watched Evangelion, it was the Netflix dub, which a lot of people were fired up about for reasons of varying validity. I think it drastically improves the show. Because, like, listen, the time before that, I did, in fact, watch the English dub from, like, the 90s, and Hachi Machi, it is really just...
It's fucking hilarious what it is.
I
It's a-
do kind of want to hear a little bit. Like, I don't want to watch a full episode of the dub, I don't think. But I am kind of curious.
I kind of
of
forgot
the,
what
of the original dub?
Yeah.
Or, yeah, it's...
Now, that's what
listen,
we should have done.
No disrespect
okay.
to Spike Spencer at all, but god damn. It was before anime was good. Like, it was before...
Mm.
That's true.
It was from a time before anybody knew
Hey.
how to do anime.
Was it dubbed?
I'm
Sorry,
gonna
Magpie.
I'm gonna redirect you to Akira existing.
Yeah, the fucking Pioneer dub of Akira is so bad.
Well,
Wait, was it the Pioneer dub or a different dub? But one of the dubs of Akira is just atrocious.
one of them is all right, and then one of them is fucking insane.
Is this my powers?
That's me.
Um,
I know.
but yeah, real bad. Did they dub Eva like it was just a regular cartoon?
What?
The 90s dub is it's so hard to quantify exactly, but it really is like from a time, speaking as a fledgling voice actor, it really is from a time before the voice acting industry what really came into its own.
I see.
And because of that, nobody has a single clue what they're doing. Like,
I
no
see.
No single person in that show knows what that show's about. And you can
Oh,
like
my
tell
lord.
just like from the way that they deliver stuff.
Yeah.
And like
I don't know if you can cut it that much slack, because I've seen English dubs from the era that are executed well by people who clearly know what the fuck is going on.
That is really true though. You're right.
See like Berserk, where all the outtakes are fucking pitch perfect jokes about the plot of Berserk.
God. Well, see, that's the thing. Is like that some in the beginning, in the before times,
In the long ago.
in the long ago, in the time before Berserk, no, like one of the reasons that the Berserk dub from back in the day is really good is because they're theater people. Like they're people who like understand like, oh, I'm gonna play a character. But
yeah, well, that explains a lot more about why Griffith had that tendency to just burst into song.
Oh yeah, he was like a Broadway guy. He was like they had to restrain him.
Oh my god!
But so some of these
he's
people
gonna sing again.
Get the horse tranquilizers.
Get the Griffith gag.
Fuck
Oh
yeah!
my god!
We're gonna turn this into a whole episode about Berserk. Fantastic!
Hell yeah! We still have not talked about Ava. So let me get through this history lesson. So some of these people were coming in from like radio. Some of them were coming in from like people who were just big dorks and just like watched Japanese anime and were like, oh, I want to do that, but like didn't really have the technical training to do so. So you get a whole lot of variation from stuff back in the day, where like you have stuff like Berserk, where it's like, oh wow, this holds up, and then you and then you have Ava, which is just like, it is like laughable to watch that dub now.
Oh my god!
And then like a year later, you have like Cowboy Bebop.
You have Cowboy Bebop, which is like amazing,
which is
fucking incredible.
And that's basically that's what I'm saying. My piece about is that back then they didn't know what they were doing. Not that the whole anime industry knows what they're doing now, because they definitely don't.
Well, there's a bunch of them that know exactly what they're doing. It's that the problem is what they're doing is evil.
Oh my lord!
That's
true too.
But my point is that like nowadays there's kind of like a standard. Like there's kind of things that are expected. When you're a voice actor, you're expected to also be an actor nowadays, basically. And that wasn't really the case back then. So in the first Ava dub, it's just like crazy to me. It is crazy to me, some of the performances that these people put in.
I forgot. What's Masato sound like in the dub?
I think she's one of the ones that's like okay originally.
She's a very animated character too.
Yeah, she's like,
she's my favorite character. Let's be honest.
She's a good character.
She's got a good voice in the German dub. I'll say that.
Oh wow, that's gotta be fucking wild.
Who's the other scientist lady? I forgot her name. Ritsuko. Yeah, Ritsuko doesn't have a good voice in the German dub, in my opinion.
I imagine that Ritsuko would be fucking creepy in German.
Yeah, and also Shinji has a substantially lower voice than I think he should have in the German dub. Not like super deep, but like just like I feel like they should have given him like a more.
They're a therapist.
Yeah.
Ramstein Shinji can't hurt you. Ramstein Shinji is.
German Shinji is like,
I must not run away.
Terrifying.
Du hast.
What's a good thing for German Shinji to say?
Break us off a piece of Shinji.
break us off a piece.
Wait, hold on. Warum mich? Maybe.
Sure.
Why me? Maybe. I don't know.
That's pretty good.
That sounds
Warum
right,
mich?
Oh my god.
That's what it should have been.
Can you say I won't do it?
Can I sneak? I don't know. I'm not that good at German. I said, and when I said ich kann ein bisschen Deutsch verstehen, aber nicht genug. That means I can understand a bit of German, but never enough, or not enough, rather.
Well, that's
anyway,
perfect. Shinji.
One thing that struck me about the German dub was that they still use in a few places the Japanese honorifics like Shinji-kun,
That's
which I
weird.
liked. I enjoyed that a lot.
That's incredibly awkward.
Shinji-kun.
Like Misato is like kneeling down next to Shinji. She's like, Shinji-kun, do. I forgot how they said go in the Ava. It was like
Get in the robot.
yeah. I can't remember. I like the thing is that I was filling in a lot of information. Like I said, I don't understand a
It would
lot of
be
German.
incredible.
I understand a bit of German.
It'd be
So-
incredible if the word for Ava in German was just one of their fucked up compound words.
Oh my god, it would be amazing, wouldn't it? Well, all the techno babble in the background was just amazingly long compound words, just like
Good.
the electromatisch or whatever.
Yeah.
And it was pretty great, to be honest.
Shinji, get in the cyber biggin.
Yeah, oh my god.
Cyber biggin.
Yeah, what's
Like
this?
that.
Der Cyberjunge.
No, wait, hang on. I'm formulating. Is
Shit, fuck yeah.
no, damn it.
I'm here for it.
What's the fucking word for
Das
hunter in
Angelwerfer.
German? Did you say DOS?
Yeah, I probably screwed up the article.
That's not a definite article in German.
Shit. Damn it.
Damn it.
Don't worry.
Damn it.
You don't
all
have
of
the
our
expectations on you.
German linguist fans.
They're gonna just
So
they're gonna be
disappointed.
shitting themselves the whole time.
I know, like,
Disappointed.
I know like 2 or 3 words in German, so it's not going to work out very well.
I know.
Yeah, about
I
the
know
same.
3
Der
words.
Cyberjäger.
Du hast mich.
Yeah.
You have me?
Yeah.
Du hast mich? Is you have me.
Mhm.
Okay.
Or
What in what context would you be saying this?
It's a song by Rammstein.
Okay. I think
Can we get that same?
No.
nine.
Hey, this is good.
So,
Watch
to
the
actually
Netflix
talk
dub. The
about
actors
Ava,
are right.
What's
like-
there to say?
Let's talk about the actual plot of this fucking 20-year-old show that we all like so much.
Sure.
Okay. I'm not gonna say I like it. I'm gonna say I
What's up?
have what's the word when you have been held hostage for so long
Well,
and you come to love the hostage
Stockholm
takers.
syndrome?
Well, I mean,
Yeah, I have
love-
Stockholm syndrome for the show.
I don't have Stockholm syndrome. I'm going to come right out with it. I love this show. It makes me miserable.
I've only
I-
seen 5 episodes so far, and I do quite enjoy it, but I feel like that could go downhill very fast, very soon. So I'm riding
No,
the high. You know what I'm
You'll
saying?
still probably enjoy it. It just will make you miserable.
I like
I
I like a
mean,
lot of
that's
component.
fair.
I like a lot of components of the show, but swear to God, all of the fan service is like a fucking like cattle probe to the brain.
Actually,
It
I,
makes
find,
me want to die.
I believe some of that is like the point of it. Like,
Yeah.
That's
like the scene where Shinji goes to give Rei her new ID card
Oh yeah, he goes.
is in
to
no
Ray's
way
house.
like pleasant for almost anyone.
mhm.
Like,
It
it's
what
really
terrifies
hard
me of the
for
fan
everyone.
service is the fucking otaku culture that grew around fucking
Right.
Eva implies that a substantial portion of the audience did
That's the
enjoy it.
point.
They took it the wrong way.
Yes,
yeah.
and that's why it's a cattle prod to the brain.
That's one of the things that I think is like
That's why the Ava fandom makes Anno want to kill himself.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's one of the things that I think is brilliant and tragic about Ava is like that so many of the things like about it that rub me the wrong way, I think are supposed to.
Yeah, they
Mm.
Right,
like-
but the audience for like some of the fandom.
Like you guys say that, but at the same time, then I remember that people have fucking like Rei Ayanami dolls on like their computer shelves, and
Yeah.
it makes me
took-
like
There's some misaimed fandom going on for sure.
They took it wrong.
Yes.
Like I said.
it. I know they took it wrong, but I just every time I see it, it makes
Yeah.
me
That's
not
understandable.
happy.
The only
I think-
acceptable waifus are Ramiel and Ritoko whenever she gets out of the
Ritoko.
pool and
Yeah.
puts on her lab coat and walks into
She-
the elevator.
Yeah, she
Yes.
like just like Fatal Attraction gets
Just
out
does
of
not put on pants, does not give a shit.
Yeah,
Just
She's
like,
like,
I am an
"Hello."
amoral scientist and I am above all of
I enjoy I enjoy the sort of like end of her rope, working at a secret underground laboratory lesbian vibes that she gives off.
Yeah.
Those are those. That's what I live for.
Ritsuko's just so done with everything.
Yes, I think these are the kind of vibes that I emit in my workplace.
She's so done that she's come back around from being done and no longer radiates like tiredness, but like menace.
Yeah. Oh man.
We
Can I
should
say
let
something
Joey
I
talk.
love? Oh,
Go-
sorry.
We should let Joey talk a little bit about this since this is his first viewing. Well,
Yeah,
what
this
opinions
is
have you got?
the first time. Okay, technically I've seen the first episode twice now, but in general, this is like my first experience with the whole. So my first immediate impression is that it gets started a lot faster than I thought it would.
Oh, yeah.
Mhm.
Because what I didn't realize is that they were gonna go, like, the first, like, few episodes of, I mean, not the first few, the first, like, few seconds of the first episode, it's like, everything's already destroyed, and there's already the first angel, like, attacking everything, and I didn't
Mhm.
realize that it, kind of started happening that fast, so it was, like, surprising to me.
Yeah,
Mhm.
episode 1 is just like Sachiel's just like, I'm here, bitch.
Yeah!
What you gonna do about it?
And I
What's that? What's
think-
that? What was that popular song a while ago? I'm coming out of my cage and I'm doing.
And I've been doing just fine.
Just-
Got
Yeah.
it down because I want. Oh,
That's the
very
Killers,
loud.
Mr. Brightside.
I step up on the beach. I step on a nuclear mine.
How did it end up like this?
How did it end
How
up
did it end up like this?
It was only.
It was only a mine.
Much much like the Killers, Ava comes out the gate swinging. Like
Yeah.
it's already good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay, and like the angel designs are very good. I'm gonna say that.
Mhm.
Like they're
Yeah,
like
they are.
robotic, but like they give like cool close up shots, and they're like a little bit juicy, which is freaky,
yeah.
and I like that.
Juicy. What I like in the show is the interface designs for all of like the screens they have up, like with like the flashing, like when they
Oh,
first
yeah.
plug Shinji into the Eva, and like they're like looking at the screen, and all like the green rectangles
Oh,
are
like the
flashing up,
big
and that's
wavy lines that are like
I think we know.
synchronizing.
Mhm.
We
so
talked about that
good.
while we were watching. I was just like, I love all the UI elements. People, Nerve went to the Star Trek Next Generation school of UI design.
Yeah.
Yes, they did. It's got to
just like
tell you a
weird.
lot of things and look good doing it.
It tells you a lot of things that you don't understand, and it has no buttons for you to push to change anything.
Yeah.
Because you are just merely the smallest cog in this giant machine. And
Truly.
Your
Your-
input is meaningless.
yes.
Uh, not to get too over analytical on you guys, but like I just think that's so cool. I think it plays into like the themes of like helplessness
sure
and
does.
stuff in the show. That just
Yeah.
like how overwhelming all the UI stuff is, and how like just like nonstop the military bullshit is.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
And one thing that like becomes a trope of the show, and this isn't really a spoiler, but one thing that becomes a trope of the show is that like I sent the cancel command and it didn't work.
Mhm.
Like,
That is like that happens at least like once an episode after a certain point.
it's just like I tried
Not
to make it stop.
responding.
I tried to make it stop. It wouldn't stop.
Yeah. So
And I
not
gotta
only
say-
are the user interfaces like just to tell you information, they also you can't change anything.
And like on
Right.
top of that, every single character at Nerve like is manipulating this child. Like, Can we
Yes.
can we talk about that? Like,
I had to break it to Joey pretty early that nobody at Nerve is a
nobody
very good
there is a
person.
good
There's,
person.
yeah, there's not
Some
really
of them-
anybody to root for who works there. Like,
Yeah.
Some of them kind of try to be okay people.
They
It doesn't
try, but
necessarily work
no.
out.
Misato
Yeah.
at least feels bad about it.
Well,
Like,
yeah.
she tries to be an okay person. It doesn't
Arguably,
work out.
sometimes.
Misato is just a grown-up Shinji, basically.
It's true.
She
it's
has
just-
like the same kind of damage as Shinji, and like it
Yeah.
kind of it shows
She-
as you watch the show as
Yeah, she has the same kind of like, well, there's nothing I can do to help this situation, so I'm just gonna
Right.
actively make it worse.
Yep.
well, I think Misato's been like, it's been a long time since I watched the show other than the first 5 episodes, but I
Mhm.
do feel like that she's not nearly as passive. She's just like, if something goes wrong, she will do something.
Yeah.
It
that's
may
fair.
involve pulling out a gun and shooting at it.
Yeah.
Misato.
Misato has like some pretty good like heroic scenes in some later episodes.
Mhm.
Yeah, she does the thing. I love the
She's
thing.
the worst. She's the
Don't.
least worst person at Nerf.
She does the thing. Joey, plug your ears for a second. I'm not going to get
I'm
deep
just
into
gonna
it,
pull the headphone out.
so I won't really spoil anything. But she does the thing in the episode where they have the better
I don't
solution
have
than
my
Nerve.
headphone in. So.
Yes, that's exactly what I was thinking about.
And then they just leave that thing and never talk about it again. Even though
Yeah.
it's a lot more humane than anything they're actually doing.
Yes, exactly.
And it was
And
sabotaged.
Don't know what that means.
Well,
Okay, we'll talk about it
You're
later.
gonna have to watch it again. I
Am I
guess.
Joey,
safe to
come
plug back in?
Yeah,
Yes.
come on.
Okay,
Get back
Come
in
on
the
I'm
in.
here.
Get
Hey,
back in the
Joey.
pool.
I
Breathe
missed
that
you.
orange juice.
That's
It's okay. You can
that's
read
a
it.
little bit too early for that, Magpie. Don't be making orange juice jokes.
No, there was LCL in the first episode.
Was
It's
there?
Orange
Okay.
juice
Yeah, they
earlier.
pumped the cockpit full of it. Remember?
Yeah, that seems like That seems like it would be painful. I'm just gonna throw
Yeah.
that out there.
It
Incredibly.
does.
And also, they put
Um,
those 2 civilians in the cockpit one time,
Oh,
and they have to breathe
yeah.
it, which means everybody in that cockpit is breathing like the skin oil of everybody else.
Hell yeah.
Tasty.
Hell yes.
Maybe that's why Tracksuit Boy is so thirsty for Shinji.
I love that. Actually, I wish that was like Tracksuit Boy. Was like it would have been great if we had that instead of Shinji Kun or
God.
Kabushin. Yeah, that's what I was going for.
Gosh.
It's there.
God.
It's just they kind of like probably don't follow up on it much, from what I gather. I could be wrong.
No, not that thread.
No.
That would be a normal human interaction, and those aren't
Yeah.
allowed for Shinji or Kaori.
No, Shinji's not
Fair
allowed to like be loved or have good friends.
Or have a normal conversation with a human being.
Yes.
Shinji and Kaiji would get along very well.
They both cry about the same amount.
I think Kaiji probably cries more.
That's true. Yeah, Kaiji cries more.
Shinji could surprise me in later episodes, but so far, not seeing a lot of tears.
Shinji just like shuts off and
Yeah.
Yeah.
Shinji does cry a fair amount, but I think Shinji's normal reaction to stress is just to be like, ah.
and then freeze.
So
Yeah.
are we implying that Kaiji is a healthier human being because he at least has the presence of mind to scream?
Yes.
I don't know.
I think
Yeah,
that Kaiji has a sort of pain that
Get in the robot, Kaiji, or we
Oh my God.
do it again.
I think that Shinji the amount of damage that Shinji has is substantially more than the amount of damage that Kaiji has. But
You haven't watched
here's the better
show.
question. Here's the better question. Who lives in the more fucked up world? Kaiji or Shinji?
Debatable.
Debatable.
Really
Kaiji
debatable.
lives in our world. He just
Kaiji
gets
lives in the
involved
real
with
world.
fucked up people. That's
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
Kaiji reminds us that this is the world we live in.
Yeah, but is that worse than a world where like children are being thrown into robots in order to fight like
No.
monsters?
I don't know. I feel like the pre-Seal Ava world was actually pretty cool, but then a bunch of old men fucked up the Earth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Here's a game theory. Seal is built of old men who make Kaiji do things. It's the same rich old white people, or not white people, but
Blackle, you don't even fucking know how accurate that is. It's
yeah.
fucked up.
Oh,
Anyway,
my
we
Lord.
gotta stop talking about Seal. Joey doesn't know about Seal.
Okay, yeah, sorry about that.
I will
Seal are the
kill-
assholes that were in Seal
Seal.
are the assholes that were in that one episode that Gendo talked to.
Oh yeah. I
And you remember
them.
he had that look on his face like, I gotta talk to these motherfuckers.
He's like,
again.
oh, these bastards are lecturing me again.
Yeah.
Gonna deal with this. and then ignore it all, probably. Continue
Yeah.
being a bastard myself.
Yeah.
Just so we can't spoil anything for Joey because she just put out the whole plot for the show.
Yeah, let's not.
I spent that entire duration of prolonged silence trying to think of a joke about the singer Seal, but I couldn't pull Kiss from a Rose. I couldn't think of Seal's
Amazing.
one song.
On the bed. Oh.
Oh my gosh.
I can pay you to a kiss from a rose on a grave. You know that one?
Yeah,
I
do.
think so. It's the kind of
from
song
Michael
which is
Keaton's
like
Batman.
background noise to my life.
I remember that very specifically from the end credits of Batman Forever. So
Yes. Wait, is it Batman Forever? I thought it was the Michael Keaton one.
I thought it was Batman Forever.
It might strongly be Batman Forever.
Y'all, we're getting off topic here. We need to talk about Eva.
Yeah,
No, this is the
back to
episode
Star
where we
Trek.
don't
I mean-
talk about Eva.
Yes, it
Even
is Batman
Joey
Forever.
Lion.
You're so right.
I've got one last note because I made 3 notes and I already talked about all of them. And I just need to get it off my plate so I can stop thinking about it because it's like
Okay.
staring me in the face. But at the very end, the last line in the show is Shinji, bitte sterb nicht, which is Shinji, please don't die, which I love.
Hello. Love that.
Yes.
Yeah,
Um,
that's good.
You guys know it's in the English dub, of course, or the subs or whatever. Shinji, please don't die. I love that. Such a
Yeah.
powerful energy.
It's
It is
pretty
Yeah.
strong. I think we've been recording for exactly 30 minutes, so we can start shutting it down whenever y'all want, or we can continue. I don't care.
I mean, I
Um,
have kind of a lot of notes still.
All right.
Listen, Magpie,
Let 'em
we
out.
go until we figure the shit out. We don't have a
Yeah.
quota.
We have
You
to go
die.
until we
Spent a
have
long
talked
time.
about the episode.
Yeah, we spent a long time talking about everything other than.
We will
which
go
is
for 8
what we
hours if it
do.
needs to. If we
Holy
need to
shit, we are
unravel
not
this
recording
episode.
for 8 hours. I will kill
No,
you
we
all
can't.
and then myself.
Under any circumstances.
We should get a Twitch
Oh,
channel
Lord.
and just do this shit. Do it.
I love you guys. I would strap a drill to my head and line it up with the timer of our recording and just
Loving
like,
these kaiji references being
the
thrown
longer
in.
this goes on, the closer I get to boring a hole straight through.
I do love the idea of like a Twitch channel where they're like talking about some anime and they're trying to like figure it out and unravel it. And the longer it goes on, the more like surreal and fucked it gets. Like, I don't know, like some wild like a David Lynch shit starts happening
Oh,
or
yeah.
something where they're like,
One of them's a teapot. I don't know.
yeah, or like,
Oh, I want to be David Bowie in this analogy.
oh my god,
If only just because I want to be David Bowie. I don't really care about his role in Twin Peaks or anything.
yeah.
Twitch
So
peaks.
Emma, what's some of your notes?
I think it is wild that that's the first episode. Like
Yeah.
is.
the content of the first episode. First of all, like it goes like really, 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 really fast, and then it spends like 10 minutes just like getting in the robot,
Yeah.
which like I appreciate, but it almost feels like you're not
But
supposed
here's the
to
thing-
just watch the first episode. Like it kind of feels like you are
Yeah,
supposed
here's
to
the thing
watch
though,
the
is that
first
that's
two,
kind of a
like, right after
microcosm for the
another.
whole show. Because then you have like an episode where it's literally just that kind of like quiet, like trying to like do one thing,
Mhm.
and like Shinji is like can't do it, and is just like thinking, and like no action happens.
Can
And
this
then
lead
you've got
into-
the episodes where it's just nonstop action.
Can this lead into something I was gonna say?
Sure.
'Cause
Absolutely.
I only had like 2 things to say, and one of them I'll talk about later. Is I just want to talk about how much I like Masato because she's my favorite character.
Sure.
But the actual serious thing that I'd like to talk about is that I love that this is the first episode because I quite frankly, I really like how hostile Ava is to the viewer. There's almost no
yeah.
fucking background
Yeah.
music ever,
Right.
except for
Yeah.
the sound of cicadas,
I
Yeah.
think
which,
Oh, the
I-
cicadas.
by the way, confuses the shit out of Yankees, which is hilarious to me.
Yeah.
But
Um,
yeah, like Blackle, did you know what that was on the first viewing, or were you just like, what the fuck is that noise?
Oh, the cicadas?
Yeah.
I think I was already tuned into the whole anime trope thing to know that it was
Okay.
bugs. Also,
Because
like
There's
we
a lot
get
of people.
like cicadas aren't too different from the sound of like what's the word? I think when I first heard cicadas in an anime, I just assumed they were like grasshoppers.
Yeah. There,
I didn't make the connection that it was just a weird thing.
It strikes some people weird in some ways because basically cicadas are only common in like 2 areas of the earth, and there's one brood in Japan. That's all just one brood, so it comes back every 15 years, and then there's a couple of different broods in the southern United States.
Mm.
So we're intimately familiar with that. But then I remember looking on forums years ago at people starting to watch Ava and stuff, and it's just like, what the fuck is that noise? I feel like I am going insane.
Yeah. One
Well-
thing I heard is that like, well, in some parts of the world, like there are no sounds like at night really, but like in other parts, like I think especially the south where like you've got like frogs and
Just constant
and grasshoppers, and it's just
noise.
like it becomes a cacophony of noise of like frogs and
Mhm.
stuff, and like you see that in movies in a few movies, so it's not too far fetched these sounds, but like in other countries where they don't have this, they're like, what the
They're
fuck is
like,
that noise
what?
in the background of this American show that
Yeah.
takes place in the south?
Like, could you imagine like watching like any American show that takes place in like Georgia or anything during a quiet scene, but you're from like Lapland or somewhere in the Arctic Circle where it's fucking
Yeah.
silent at night.
Yeah.
Yes.
But anyway, what was the other shit I was gonna say? I love how hostile the show is to the viewer, because there's the first episode where it takes him 10 minutes to get into this robot.
Mhm.
As long as it would take a normal person under these circumstances,
Right.
honestly. Because like I evolved a lot when I watched this show years ago. Because when I watched it years ago, I was a teenager,
Yes.
Mhm.
Me too.
and it wasn't even when the show aired. It was years after, and I went, God, Shinji is such a bitch. Like, just get into robot, you little shit.
Yeah.
But and I evolved years, and I'm just like, actually, no, that's a pretty reasonable response to what he's being asked to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
But,
Especially
doesn't-
given the fact that it looks really creepy.
It's a scary robot too. But
Yeah.
It
And
is,
he
yeah.
doesn't actually get in the robot until they wheel out an injured girl on a bed.
yeah, until they're
That's,
gonna
like,
stuff
actively-
Ray's corpse into it.
Yeah,
Right.
leaking blood on him.
But
I
there's
love it.
that.
I love
Sure,
how
okay.
I love how Gendo is like, she's not dead yet. So let's
She's
do
not
it.
dead.
Yeah.
Fuck,
Put her in.
fuck Gendo.
But
Now this might be an unpopular opinion, but I don't care for that Gendo fellow.
No, I don't think a
Ooh.
lot of people do.
Ooh, no,
anyway, I gotta
he's
finish this.
bad.
I gotta finish this point before I lose
Okay.
it completely.
Okay.
But it's I love that. I love the Satriel fight that you don't get to see until like the end of episode 2, or is it in episode 3?
Yeah, no, it is, I think, the end of episode 2.
Because they shoot his ass up there, and he gets his ass beat and blacks out, and then the rest of the in like 10 seconds, and
I love it.
literally the whole rest of the episode is him wandering around going, "What the hell happened? Am
What
I in the
happened?
hospital? Oh, there's
Yeah.
Ray. Whoa, shit!"
Yeah.
Like, the beginning of episode 2, he opens his eyes and he's in the hospital and he's like, what? And you're like,
It's
what?
like, huh?
Huh?
And then
But
they
I-
start panning the shots of them like moving the Ava's head around with the crane, and you're just like,
yeah.
"Oh, the fight must have gone bad."
Mm-hmm.
And shit like that, and of course the infamous elevator scene that comes way later in the show after what
God.
Joey's seen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I keep hearing mention of that, and I can't
One of my
wait
favorites.
to see it.
I think.
I absolutely can't wait.
But Ava does not care about your viewer experience.
Well, I
Mhm.
think. See, I think that that's a calculated thing, because I think, and you guys can feel free to argue with this, but I think that is kind of part of how Ava puts you in Shinji's place.
Mhm.
Just like kind of giving you this world that you cannot possibly hope to understand, like fast enough. It kind of. I feel like the fact that like the first couple episodes are so overwhelming is kind of like helping you understand, like, this is what Shinji's going through too. Like he also barely understands what's going on.
No, I think that makes
Mhm.
total sense.
It does. It checks out.
I also like Magpie. You said something that made me think of this, but I can't possibly remember what. But I think that this show just has such a cool way of like telling you that Avas are not like the mechs that you're used to. Like I mean, every mecha show has some kind of like, oh well, our mecha are like this or blah blah blah. But like Ava does it in like such a scary way.
Most of the other shows don't show you that fact by just having them be full of shitloads of blood.
Right, like it really, I mean, obviously it becomes clearer later on, and then very clear later on.
Yeah.
But like, even in like the first episode, like you get the sense that like these things, like the people who made these things don't understand what they are.
Yeah. I think that's such a tasty
so cool.
thing. Yeah.
I'm so into that.
If you ever ask Gil about it, that's one of the reasons Darling in the Franxx sucks.
Yeah.
Because it has the same feeling, but it's not earned.
Yeah.
Because it's just like, you made this thing. Why is it like this? It's just like,
I've never seen Darling in the Franxx, and I feel like maybe that's a bonus episode.
We should get into it.
I have no earthly idea what that is.
Good.
It's Ava again, but worse.
Okay.
It's like if Ava was like horny and shitty.
Oh no! That was my initial impression of Eva, was that horny and shitty.
Well, see, that's another thing about Ava is like the horny, shitty parts of Ava are like supposed to be bad. Like you're kind of supposed to be like, ugh.
Right, it's supposed to make you feel uncomfortable.
Yeah, that's another thing that I mean about like kind of making you feel the way that Shinji feels.
Except for that part where he jumps out of the shower because he finds a penguin in there.
That's true. That one I don't have any kind of nuance.
That's the only fan service in the whole show.
I don't know if it's fan service.
That scene's just genuinely funny.
No, that scene literally made me
one thing.
very loud.
One thing that I heard in another podcast called "Anime is for Jerks" by a friend of mine is they mentioned how in that scene where Shinji jumps out and is naked in front of Misato and is like, "There's a bird in there," and like the can of beer is like covering his junculate.
Yeah.
And then she picks up the beer, and behind it is another container covering.
And
apparently the can's label says. Apparently the can's label in Japanese means toothpicks.
Oh man!
Oh come on!
Yes.
Leave Shinji alone.
I mean, like
this.
Yeah. I mean, like. Yeah.
Yeah.
I just thought that was funny. That was a thing.
Trying to put this together with the lady from the last episode. It's just like, I'm gonna need to see your Johnny.
I'm gonna need to see your Johnny, Shinji. I'm gonna need to see your Shinji.
Oh man!
We weren't gonna talk about.
I forgot that was in the first episode of Eden of the East.
We're not gonna keep going with that. Anyway.
That's true.
Yeah.
Can we talk? I'm gonna elbow you all out of the way now and just say that I love Misato.
Yeah,
I wanted to talk about that too. She's like very enjoyable.
I forget if she does anything like specifically evil later on. She probably does.
Arguable.
But I enjoy her in up to episode 5 at least, where she's just like, "Oh, my car."
I love her junky car.
Yeah,
her car,
I just finished the payments.
Her car was great before.
Well, it's junky now because they got nuked.
Yeah, it's not even a nuke. It's a non-nuclear explosion. It's the N2 mine.
What was it?
I thought the N2 mine was a nuke.
No, N2 mines are non-nuclear according to the EVO wiki.
Oh.
Wow, thank you.
You're welcome.
It did seem funny that they sustained all that radiation and were fine.
Yeah, I like the shot of them like peeking out of the car, like all the wind is blowing and like.
It's they just went to Nerve and picked up a stim pack and they're fine now.
Hold on, we should put out the magpie cut of Evangelion where it just blows their car over, and the next scene is just a silhouette of Shinji against the wall, and that's the end of the series.
Fucked up.
God.
Oh no!
Holy
Tokyo 3
shit.
is gone.
No, cut that out.
No, we just need Shinji to go to Nerve, take his iodine tablets, and then get in the robot.
But yeah, I love her. She's the best. She's just like, oh my, I gotta steal all these batteries from all these parked cars and wire them together.
Her
It's my best
interactions with
dress.
Shinji are just like baffling sometimes too. She's just like sitting there arguing with him in the car, and he's like, he's not even super arguing. He's just like, is this okay? And she's just like, listen, you little shit, and just swerves.
She's trying to.
No, that was because he said that she doesn't act her age.
Yeah,
And she doesn't.
She
Yeah.
doesn't.
And she swerves the car around, proving the point.
Mm-hmm.
I think
It's
she's just trying to get him to
funny.
come out of his shell a little bit so she can try
Maybe.
and interact with him like a normal person.
Yeah.
But I mean, then like she like lets him live in the apartment, and she's like drunk half the time.
Mm-hmm.
I
That's
don't
just how
know
she
that
is.
that's- I mean, that's how she is.
That's
but
just how she do.
She's not his mom, you know.
no.
Yeah.
She's a grown-ass person with lots of psychological damage.
Yeah.
Right. It's just.
I mean,
weird.
Shinji's mom is, and I shouldn't go further because that's a
Would you
that's a
say
plot
that?
point.
Would you say that she's got it
Easy.
going on? But
No, she
We
doesn't
can't
have
do
it going.
this.
Evil.
Yeah. Anyway, that I feel like we could be here for hours talking about Evangelion because there's
It's
a lot
like
to
a good
unpack.
show. It's like a
It's-
very good show.
It's literally like an atomic bomb of like psychological troubles.
But
And I-
not atomic because the N2.
It's an
bomb.
N2 bomb of psychological
It's a
troubles.
It's a non-nuclear bomb of psychological trauma.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'm
think-
only 5. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, you go ahead,
It was not you.
Joey.
I was all I was
I'll
gonna
go.
say
No I'm kidding.
is I'm only 5 episodes in, and I'm already pretty hooked. So that's
Me too.
That's my review.
it really does have a strong showing for the first couple episodes. A lot of anime
Yeah.
just drag in the first.
Yeah, I think that Ava does a really good job of like just starting.
Like,
You know what I mean?
I would
Yeah.
I would put its pacing up there with like the incredible pacing of like Bebop or Trigun or something, where they just get into it.
Yeah.
And this is what it is.
I think that a strength of those shows that just like a lot of anime don't have anymore is just that, is their ability to say like, we're not going to do a big like 15 minutes of exposition. We're just going to start going and you'll figure it out with us.
I like that. I
Yeah.
like that kind of in media res type deal.
Well,
Yeah.
they
I do
have
too.
Like learn on the job type thing.
they have a clear idea of what they were going for, and it's often because they were created to be anime. They're not
Exactly.
adaptations of anything.
Yeah,
Like-
that's one of the. I just think that Ava is so like you can. It's like an oil painting. Like you can see the brush strokes.
It's like a
so-
Francisco Goya painting.
It's yeah, it is. You,
Was that the
boy.
person who painted like Jupiter eating his son or something?
Yup.
And let me give you all an episode
Saturn.
title right now. We're gonna call it Gendo Devouring His Son.
Yes.
That's
Yes.
it. That's the title.
Yeah.
Very good.
But what I mean is like you can kind of like see how Ava was created while you're watching it. Like you can
Sometimes, unfortunately.
sometimes unfortunately, but like you can kind of like feel the creator's headspace like the
It's
whole
bad.
time.
It's a very bad place to
It's
be.
a very fucking bad place to be.
And it's incredible how clearly that is communicated.
Yeah. It's just Ava's a work of art, folks. I know that's an extremely weeaboo thing for me to say, but I've got my badge anyways, so
What
Well, you
I
don't have to
heard
be-
was
you don't
the creator like asked around, like, I don't know which episode this happened, but like apparently in working on Ray's character, they were like, can someone find me some psychological like textbooks about like young child trauma in order to like write this character better. And in reading that stuff, they were like, oh shit, I have depression and I never realized it.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah, can you imagine
basically,
Can you imagine Hideki Anno as like a weird, like often boundary breaking young like director and political weirdo just reading shit and just be like, oh god, oh no, it's me.
Oh no,
Oh, God.
I'm in this. I'm in this photo.
yeah.
I don't like it.
Yeah. And
And then
I
he
mean,
took
not
that
that-
photo.
not-
He took that photo and he showed it to everyone, and everyone picked which girl they liked, and he said, "I'm gonna kill myself."
Oh my god. I think that's an apt description of the entirety of Evangelion.
Yeah.
not that I'm saying that Hideki Anno is great, because he's a problematic individual, and some of the stuff about like how Ava was directed is like very scary. But just in general, I think it's really like a powerful piece about like you can feel Anno like figuring himself out while Ava continues, and I think that's
Yeah.
really
You know, Emma. There's another show that you could actually say that about.
Is it Gunbusters?
Is it JoJo's Bizarre Adventure?
It is actually JoJo's Bizarre Adventure.
Yes!
Sorry.
Is that the thing you were talking about? How like do I muscle?
It is true. It has been that series has been described as Araki over the course of like 30 years figuring out what fetishes he has. Where he's just like, we like men? Yeah, okay. Well, how about like fashion men?
Make them buffer.
And he's just like, make them buffer and give them like weird tires for shoulders. No, I don't like that.
Yeah, it is just
Smooth them out.
Just
Give him a
Araki
pompadour.
slowly realizing that he likes twinks more.
And then in part 6, it's just like girls, and he's just like, yeah,
Yes,
kinda, but no,
yeah.
let's go back.
God.
Girls too, but only sometimes.
It'd be like that.
Shall we wrap this up?
I suppose I had something
Yeah.
very insightful and cool to say, but it's gone now. I'm like,
Well,
everything.
I just am thinking like future Blackle, who is watching or listening to this again, wants to get back to work. So,
Oh my god.
yeah, I listen to this podcast at work sometimes
Oh, really? Jesus,
while I'm working, just because I don't know. Like, when else am I going to listen to it?
that's horrifying.
I listened to a bunch of episodes on a very bad drive, and it made me feel like my friends were with me.
Yay!
That's cool. I listen to every episode when I edit it the day afterwards, and I just listen to my own voice and stare blankly at a wall until I need to cut something.
I open them in YouTube the day when they're posted and listen to the whole thing then, which I feel is very chaotic somehow.
That's good for the algorithm.
It's good for the algorithm.
Good for the algorithm.
It's good for the stats.
Good for the. It's good for the algorithm.
If you like our
Bring
show, all of
pictures
you,
of Shinji.
bring me pictures of that watermelon guy whose name I can't remember.
Get me pictures of Kaiji reading Warrior Cats.
Yeah, no, what? You know what? That guy's name is Kaiji. He used to date Masada.
Oh right. Wait, his name is Kaiji?
No, it's
Yeah.
That was a
It's a bit.
joke.
Well, you missed it. It went over my head, and like, how is? Anyway, I think with that like horrible
Just like
dud of a
shocking piece
joke, we need
confusion.
to move on.
Yeah, I think
Okay.
that's
And-
a sign.
Well, the joke was good. You just weren't worthy of it.
Yeah, that's true.
Okay.
Couldn't pick up Thor's hammer.
Anyway,
All
next
right, that's it.
next time we do a bonus episode, we'll probably crack open like Darling in the Franxx or something even more chaotic. So look forward to that.
Okay.
Look forward to our misfortune and not being able to record a timely episode.
Yeah.
We'll figure it
Hope you
out.
guys enjoy this feature length episode.
Oh, it's gonna be real screwy to edit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I hope
All
you
right,
have
gang.
fun with
I'm
that.
gonna have to delete like 3 old episodes on SoundCloud to put it up if we ever have to.
That's true. All right,
Oh
gang.
Lord.
Let's get in the robot, huh?